Well, good morning, everyone. This is lesson 106. This is actually, I want to make sure I'm taping this time. I had the wrong button pushed. I've already taught this once, so you get the second edition. Okay, yeah, I had photo press. Who knew? So, yeah, I did get a haircut yesterday. 82-year-old Oma came over, my mom. She had her bandana on. We cut it outside. We sanitized all the tools. I didn't breathe the whole time. So yeah, it was fun. Corona times, great memories. Anyway, today's lesson 106 is on linear equations, which we have talked about a lot. Just going to review a few things. And then we are going to find the equation of a line through 2 points. All right, so let me first review by talking about standard form of a line, which we know is ax plus by plus c equals 0. All right, so here's an example. The a is 2, the b is 3, and the c is -6. Okay, you can have negatives, that's fine, and it's set equal to 0. So if I wanted to graph this with intercepts, I would add 6, and then I would say, well, if I let x be 0, y is 2. If I let y be 0, x is 3. I have my two intercepts. I would plot them, connect the dots, be done with that graph. All right? Slope-intercept, if I take this same equation and I solve for y, remember you have exercises sometimes and it'll say solve for a letter, usually y. Well, that's the reason. We want to take this equation and solve for y. And so I did. I have 3y. I subtracted 2x and I added 6, and then I divided through by 3, and so now this is in slope-intercept form, okay? Y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept. And then, of course, I would plot, you're not done, 0, 2, and from that point, I would go down 2 and run to the right 3 and have my second point, connect the dots, and be done with that one. All right, so the next thing then that we want to do from page 446, we want to plot or find the equation of a line through 2 given points. All right, and so you want to label one point 1 and the other point 2. So this is x sub 1, y sub 1, the x coordinate of point 1, the y coordinate of point 1, and point 2. All right? And we first find the slope, which the formula for that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right? So -3, I'm going to plug in -3, take away y1, okay? Over x sub 2, take away x sub 1. All right, so adding the opposite, I would get a slope of -5 over -9, which is 5/9, right? 2 negatives makes a positive, so we want to make sure that we clean it up. All right, now that we've found the slope, I'm going to plug into y equals mx plus b. So I will plug in 5/9 for m. I'm going to choose one of my points to use for x and y, and I'm going to choose the one with fewer negatives, so obviously I'm going to pick this one. So for y, I'll plug in 2. For x, I'll plug in 4. Okay, because I'm looking now for the y-intercept, the b, under these conditions. I found the slope, but I don't know the b. So if I plug in a point, I'll find it. Okay, so 2 equals 20/9 plus b, right? This is 4 over 1, so 20/9. Now my b, I'm going to be subtracting 20/9. Well, when I am adding or subtracting fractions, I need common denominators, right? So 2 over 1 equals how many ninths? 18/9. Okay, so this was 18/9. I'm taking away the 20/9, and that is my b. So in this condition then, or under these circumstances, this would be negative 2/9. So now I found the slope, I found the b, so I can write my equation. Okay, there we have it. Now there is another formula that is not in our book. It's called point slope formula. I'm going to briefly show it to you. Some of you are going to love it. Others of you are going to go, no, I want to do it the other way. So let me just show it to you. It's y minus y sub 1 equals the slope times x minus x sub 1. So with that example that we just did was 4, 2, and negative 5, negative 3. So what you do then is you pick one of the points, obviously this one with fewer negatives. So you say y, take away the y coordinate, equals the slope, and we found the slope earlier to be 5/9, didn't we? Is x minus x sub 1. So into this point slope, I have plugged in the slope I found and one of the points, the x and the y, for y1 and x1. So y minus 2 equals, now I'm going to distribute right here, 5/9 x minus 20/9. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of it here. And remember, I'm adding 2 in the form of 18/9. Okay, so negative 20/9 plus 18/9 is negative 2/9. And that's the same thing that I found the other way. So there again, this is not in our book, but you will use it in Algebra 2, maybe geometry, so it's worth it to go ahead and present it. And for those of you who like it better, you can use this, okay? All right, so let me do example 2. And this is for negative 2 and negative 3, 4. Now, it doesn't matter which point you call 1 or 2, just be consistent, okay? So, x1, y1. In other words, I don't want to say x1, y2, okay? So, be consistent. All right, so first we're going to find our slope. So, y2, take away y1, sub 1, you know. All right, and then x2, take away x1. Okay, so be very careful with your signs. Remember, the formula is take away, okay? All right, add the opposite, so 6 under negative 7, so negative 6/7 is our slope. All right, so now into y equals mx plus b, I will choose one of the points to plug in the x and y and the slope I found. All right, so I'll pick this point. All right, negative 2 equals the slope I found times the x, and I'm looking for the b under these conditions. So negative 2 equals negative 24/7 plus b. So here again, I'm going to convert 2 over 1 into something over 7. So yes, it is negative 14/7. Very good. Almost heard you all saying that. I'm going to add the 24/7 to both sides to get rid of it here. And so my b is 10/7. So now I can write the equation. Y equals the slope times x plus the b. Yes, some very funky numbers. They're not exactly fun to graph, but you can do it. All right, so that's example 2. Now example 3, when we find the slope of example 3, let's try that. We get something that's undefined, right? You can't have 0 in the denominator. So because this is undefined, we know that this is a vertical line, right? And x is equal to, vertical lines are x lines, right? x is equal to 4. All right? If we had found 0 over 7, something like that, then we know it's a y line, right? It's a horizontal line that has a slope of 0. Okay, so that would be y, whatever the y coordinate would be. All right, guys, so let's do the practice. So stop the video and do your practice, and then come back and check with me. And I'll be putting them up. While you're working, I'll be working. Erase. All right, so I plugged in my slope formula, plugged this point into y equals mx plus b, and found my equation. And then over here, be careful of calculation errors. So -3/9 reduced to -1/3 for my b. All right, so refer to RunWeb. You'll have your assignment there. Have a great day. We'll check with you tomorrow.